Yo, what's up, YouTube? What's up? What's up? What's up? Today we're gonna be doing a special kind of video today. I'll be making my own tier list of characters that are already in season 0 of Marvel Rivals. This is obviously gonna be my opinion based, and I guess we'll be going with the standard S, A, B, C, D. Um, or should I just like switch it up to have like a better understanding of what I'm like? How am I gonna categorize it? Because I'm not too sure if I like the S A B C D format. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know how. Okay, so what does this do? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Can you like remove? Clear row. Oh, okay, bet. How you? Okay, bet. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna probably do this. I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as possible. Well, hmm. Okay. All right. Got that set up. I was trying to like get a good grasp of how I want to rate these characters. Um, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be a hard tier list in my opinion, because I want to try to deep dive into all of them. So like, so there's like a fair shot to each character. And again, I'm not saying like their characters are unusable, stuff like that. It's just some will require a lot more skill than others. But if we're gonna go down the list, let's start with obviously Adam Warlock, and I do have a second screen that you guys will not be able to see, but I have a second screen up to look at abilities just to review. So if I seem to forget something, I'll have their abilities pulled up to make sure. You know what I'm saying? So first one, Adam Warlock. He's currently in the season 0. He's a 3-star difficulty. Uh, his ultimate does revive. It's a reviving ultimate, but they come back with partial HP. Not full. He has Soul Bond. From what my understanding of Soul Bond is just forge a Soul Bond with allies, granting heal over time and distributing damage taken across the bond. Who I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I feel about that ability. Um, there's been times where I've soul bonded and the enemies popped a ultimate, and I would get put to 1 HP, just straight 1 HP. From what from what I've noticed, you don't die from it from your soul bond if you know what I'm saying. Like if you take the damage from them, like you get shredded to the point where it puts you at 1 HP, but it'll just keep you there, obviously until they're done taking damage. And you know what I'm saying. I don't know how I feel about that part. I'm not gonna lie. I wish it was reduced damage more than distributed damage, which, technically it is reducing, but you're still taking damage across the board. I don't know. Then he has his healing ability, his second healing ability, which is Avatar Life Stream. Target an ally for a bouncing stream of healing energy, which also heals himself upon casting. Self target. Oh, if self target, if no ally is obviously selected. Then he has a L2, which is I would consider his secondary fire. His Cosmic Cluster. It charges 5 shots into it, and it just shoots like a burst. And then he has a passive, which is revival. Um, if I had to pick him, he's not a bad character. I'm not gonna lie, he's not bad. I like using him a lot, but obviously I'm not gonna let it to a bias standpoint. So honestly, I'll probably put him at A. A seems like a good spot, you know what I'm saying? He can heal more than one person, just offer it. It does chain. It's pretty strong, pretty strong. And he has resurrection revival. Um hmm. I'll leave him at A. He does pretty good. Uh I think the only thing that actually hurts him would be like there's no type he doesn't have mobility. He doesn't have something to get out the way or something to like survive longer. Only thing he has that's mobile, which would be just his resurrection, but that would cause you to die, if you know. And it can be like those little instances where it can change the whole game. For now, I'm gonna leave him at A. We're gonna keep going so we can try to make this video as quick as possible. I don't want to spend too much time or like to overload you guys. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to Black Panther. uh, Black Panther. So he's a DPS, 4-star DPS character. He does have an ultimate Vast Descent. He also has Spirit Rend, Spinning Kicks, Subtle Step, Spear Toss, and Panther's Cunning. He has honestly a really good skill. He is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of putting from how his ability is. I mean, it's good because if it works, it works. You know what I'm saying? And you're probably like, what are you talking about? For if you don't know of Black Panther's kit. So pretty much his whole gist is to land the Wakandan mark. It's like this W that can show up on the enemy if you land. What is it? I believe it's spinning kick. Yeah, spinning kick and spear toss. Yeah, so spear toss. Um. Oh, and when you mark them with the spirit toss, and you can follow with spirit rend, well, you can follow up with spirit rend, which will actually refund it upon dealing damage to them. So you could like, I think the most notorious combo would be what's it, spear toss, spirit rend, and then spirit rend out of the situation, or you could do like spear toss, spear rend, uh spear toss again, spear rend obviously, And then spinning kick, because that also does Wakandan, leaves a Wakanda mark, and then spinning kick to leave, which by then they would probably be dead. And also it could work on like a group of them because it like pierces them. So, you could probably get like a cool little like squad wiper from there in close quarters. He also gets a damage buff upon his health depleting. But it has visual indicators, his armor will glow purple, obviously. Um, the only thing I'm not too fond of is he like his only range is spear toss. And I don't know if it does a lot of damage, because usually you don't want to hit them like you don't want to hit them head on. You would, because it's an AoE, so you would want to throw it on the ground. So it would be like, you know what I'm saying? Like it would be a better chance for it to hit. Um, but he's still a good character. It just feels like if you mess up the flow, you're kind of in that stuck situation until uh Spirit Ren comes back or your other abilities come back. Because if you use Spirit Ren and then you throw the spear, it's not gonna replenish it. You have to have the Wakandan mark first, right? And that requires you to throw the spear. And if you waste all your abilities and somehow not get it, which is, you know what I'm saying, it happens, you're kind of left in this stuck situation. He's a good character, most definitely. He's really strong close quarters. He's like one of those characters who will probably be back hitting your back lines a lot, and he's pretty quick from how the abilities because you're dashing, so it's making you like really just agile and you're just moving. So he's not a bad character. Most definitely an A tier. Most definitely. He's not too broken, if you know what I'm saying. He has a drawback. You have to be like kind of skilled with him. Make sure you know what you're really doing. Uh, he's not he's not broken. He's not too terrible to play against because I feel like if you are like range is probably going to be his biggest weakness. Range characters, really the flying characters. I feel like the flying characters would be his biggest weakness. But other than that, he's actually really good at really good, really good, really good. Now we are following up on Black Widow. Oof, 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 oof. I don't know what to say. She has a sniper. Uh, her normal attack can switch between the Red Room rifle, aka the sniper, or her baton. Her ultimate is the electroplasma explosion, which I believe it just slows you down, right? Leaving the alarm, yeah, it just slows you down. It puts you in first person mode, and when you shoot it, and it just slows you down. Then she has another ability for her arm, not, well, I guess it would be my Arwen, but it's called Fleet Foot. Basically, just agility, pretty much. It's an agility type of deal, make you move faster. Then she has another attack called Edge Dancer. You would kick the enemy up, well, technically launch them up, right? And then upon hitting it, you can have you'll have a prompt to follow up for a second attack, pretty much. Well, probably not a prompt. Well, yeah, it'll be a prompt probably. And then her other function is basically just aiming down sights of it. It's just a sniper. From what I've noticed with the sniper though, it stays like the same fire rate whether you're uh aiming down sights and or you're just on hip fire mode. I mean, I might be wrong, but it just feels like it's not really a rifle. But to go on with the tier list type of deal, she does have like the average HP of a DPS, but it's just like I feel like she's like in a sitting duck type of deal. I don't know why. I don't know why. The sniper is really powerful. It is most definitely. But I feel like her only way out is fleet foot, but it's also stamina based type of deal. It's her melee isn't really all that strong, really. I'm not gonna lie to you because characters who like probably will be coming after her would probably be like Spider-Man, obviously like Black Panther, Psylocke, maybe Namor, Moon Knight. Characters like those would probably get the jump on her like pretty, especially Spider-Man and Black Panther and Psylocke. They would probably like actually crush her just due to how fast they are. Because it would be hard to lock on with the R1, and even then, the R1 is only like one charge, and it goes into a straight cooldown. And then the only thing left of her that she could actually defend herself would be her R2. But they're not gonna really just sit there and let you get it off. I don't know. I just feel like she's not awful. She's not awful. She's not awful. She's not awful. It was just I feel like you'd probably be next to the healers if you know what I'm saying. Like you're probably gonna be backlining with healers. You might want to have like a tank or someone with you to protect you, but then that would be like what more of an effort to help out so like the healers and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. But then again, those are like, counter characters to her. Other than that, tanks, that it also depends because it just depends on the scenario. Like I'm trying to make it to like a fair situation with her because in the back she's gonna be picking people off, and if everyone's doing their job, she will and if she's playing right, she would probably go untouched. But that's undoubtfully that's just I don't know. I don't see it happening. I just feel like this is most definitely like a higher skilled character in terms of these. Well, this one really because you're just really just ability spamming. This one you have to like really know how to position to get out of fights and probably reposition with groups to drag like to jump someone instead of running ones, if you know what I'm saying. Because I don't think she's gonna be winning a lot of one-on-one fights with these characters. And that's just in close range. Long range, yeah, she would most definitely probably win it. Long range, but that's when it's like you just don't let a sniper sit in the back. You just you're gonna rush him. Bruce Banner Hulk. Hmm. I'm not gonna lie. At first I thought he sucked. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Looking at Hulk, he has obviously three transformations. If we're gonna look at Bruce Banner, absolutely trash. Sorry to say it. I mean, he's trash. He's just trash. He only has a gun. The gun does okay damage, I guess. Not really okay damage. It's just like you're kind of tickling him, and you gotta be like hitting your shots. But I don't know. He has a grenade, which will just launch people up. Uh, it's pretty, it's pretty useless. I mean, I thought it would just like push him away. If we're going to Hero Hulk, he does have really strong melee abilities. He has movement, incredible leap. Not only does he leap, you can attach to buildings and you can jump off. So you can like chain jump as long as you're holding the button. Uh, you also can what's it called? Paralyze. I call it paralyzed, but in game it's called exile, where it'll just stun you. Oh man, hold on. Okay, we back. Uh, where his where basically you'll just get stunned from like I think he just spits something out. I don't know. He does something, but you'll get stunned, and then he does the Hulk smash clap. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy. Um, Pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie, pretty solid. And he has the gamma bubble. which is called Indestructible Guard. It lasts probably for like 2 seconds, but it does. It's like if I double check it, it's like a like if you have allies nearby, anyone who's like near like a certain radius of you will get it. The bubble, which it would just make you immune, and I'm pretty sure it protects you against all ultimates. And then not only that, I believe that the damage that you like the allies take while they have the bubble, and like even the bubble from you stack to getting your ultimate. So you know what I'm saying? It'll probably get like a lot. Like he'll probably be getting Hero Hulk quite fast. This is due to that really. Like he has a really solid kit to help him out. Then we have Monster Hulk, pretty much the same things, just upgraded and stronger version. His heavy attack also does knockback too, which is honestly really strong, especially in those like convoy type of deals to get them off of it. Yeah, that's honestly really strong. And then obviously he has a like a second what is it like a third ultimate, fourth ultimate really I guess, where you just do like the Loki grab and you just slam them. You know, and it does actually some pretty decent damage. But it is survivable if they have a healer just constantly right there on them. If I had to put him somewhere, um, he's honestly not bad. He's pretty solid. Obviously, S would be for broken, like undoubtedly no counters. They can handle the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? A, you got counters, which is honestly, I feel like A is the spot where you gotta be. You're a healthy character. You're good. You're not bad. You just have counters, and you gotta like know how to work around them. You know what I'm saying? B, I mean, you a little bit more exposed. You're not awful. You know what I'm saying? But this we're working our way to this. We're working to this area. Honestly, I don't want to put characters down in this area because I don't feel like there are characters I need to be put in this area. But we'll get there when we get there. All right, now let's move on. Captain America. Captain America. Whew. All right. So he does have his basic attack, which is R. Well, for me R2. We're not gonna go into this, but it's called Sentinel Strike. You hit them twice, and then you can move. Then you can start throwing your shield to ricochet 4 times. So basically, 2 hits, and then you can do 4 extra hits, but at a longer distance. And then you would obviously have to get back up close range to work. He is a 3-star Vanguard, if for those who want to know, or obviously you already know. His ultimate is called Freedom Charge. It's basically healing and just movement boost is really it. Um, what's it called? Leading dash is an agility of his. He can switch between basically sprinting and walking. While sprinting, it will enable another ability in his kit. Then he also has obviously the notorious shield throw, which in this game is called the Vibranium Energy Saw. Then Liberty Rush is basically like a shield bash. You can use it as like a mobility type of deal. If you are that type of person, I would recommend it to close gaps, truthfully. Or you can use the Super Soldier Slam, but that only works if you have the sprint enabled, which I don't see why you would never have it not enabled. Then L2 is just obviously deflecting projectiles. And then he has a bonus team up with Thor, which is just basically throwing a shield, but with electricity, shocking them. So, hmm, I don't know how I feel about Cap, to be honest. For some reason I feel like he's like lackluster and like he's lackluster in the damage department. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like his ultimate should have really gave him some type of damage up. Like the I mean, I feel like that wouldn't be too crazy. Give him movement, health regen, and then damage up. That does not seem broken, to be honest. Mm, I don't know. I don't feel like he's broken. He's a cool little character. Um, Obviously for the Captain America mates out there, I'm not obviously dissing nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like how I kind of feel for him. Hmm. He also feels like one of these type of back, like, hmm. Because I know if Cap's on the field and he has his ultimate, he can survive. Like no lie, he can survive because that region's pretty strong. He gets what I think his movement is stacking on top of his sprint speed too, which I mean I hope I'm right about that. That'd be pretty good. If it didn't, that'd be kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but mm, hold up, I gotta see how much this vibranium energy saw actually like damage wise. It doesn't really do a lot of damage either. So he doesn't really have like no type of range on him. Which, you know, it's like I mean, range is not like the most crazy thing, but I feel like a well-rounded character will have some type of way to deal with range. But if not, that's cool. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's what other characters in the game are for, but you know, I guess I'm talking about this character in specific. Uh as a Vanguard, he does do the Vanguard role pretty well. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be the tank, front line in it. So he does it pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. He just my only thing with him is just his damage is lackluster. That's like the only thing I have against Cap. It's kind of lackluster. But other than that, he seems fine. His health region is pretty potent. He's very he can be mobile, especially with the how I use it is a super soldier slam. I use it a lot for movement. I would be jumping a lot, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you got to be mobile with Cap. You know, can't really be sitting around. Cloak and dagger. Cloak and dagger. Hmm. Cloak and dagger. 3-star support with 2 characters built into one. Dagger is the healing. Uh, Cloak is DPS, or I guess debuffer would be the terminology for him, huh? Um, well, they're both support, regardless. I'm not gonna lie. This chick, these two, hmm, let me double check something before I confirm my final thoughts on these two. I just gotta see something. I gotta figure out. Untargetable. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at something because I'm not gonna lie, without a doubt, I just had to double check something, but they're S tier. Probably wanting, I it's just like if you just read their kit and you know what they're doing, they're kind of S tier. I'm not gonna lie to you. Dagger, she has the healing support. She has the healing down to a T. Uh, it tracks, and not only does it track, her R2 just also heals and damages. So it's like primary. You know what I'm saying? Pretty easy, pretty easy, pretty easy. Yeah. Then Veil Light Force is just another way of healing. It just sends like a wall of healing to them. Pretty strong, pretty strong. Dagger Storm is, it's just another healing ability. She just throws like a big spear onto the enemy, not enemy, allies, and it would just sit there for a duration and heal them. If you switch over to Dagger, which is, obviously Dark Force, his R2 bind is similar to Scarlet Witch, where it's just like this continuously damage like beam that tracks them. Like it takes like very little aim to, hit the target. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta probably suck to miss at all. I'm not gonna lie. If I offended anyone, my fault, but it's truth. He does also have like that wall of healing, but it's not healing. It's actually like Dark Force where it just blinds them and basically debuffs them to take more damage. And then here's another nifty thing. They have dark teleportation. And this is honestly quite insane because it's if you time it right, which a good skilled cloak and dagger player, you usually time it right. They can make you immune to almost every ultimate in the game. I'm not lying. If they're actually paying attention and if they're with their team, they can pretty much save a team from an ult that would have caused you guys to get squad wiped. Not squad, I said squad wiped. Team wiped. So as far as weakness, I mean, as Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? Like them characters can get them, but I feel like if they're on their toes, it would be hard to actually kill this character. Maybe it's just like, because Cloak can just get them out of there, debuff them, and if you're a DPS character, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage. So I just feel like you're an S tier, pretty like really strong character. Yeah, you'll probably see him like in almost every match, literally. Next, Doctor Strange. He's a Vanguard, obviously. Um, yeah, he's a two-star Vanguard. He has R2, which is ranged. I have Agamotto. I might have butchered it. I'm sorry, guys. Whew. It's a basically like a stun ultimate, pretty much, and I'm pretty sure you can do times 2 damage with this ult. And I'm not saying like times 2 in general, like the ult. It's just like because you can deal damage to the soul when you you know separate their bodies from their souls, right? And you'll probably see a lot of Doctor Strange do it, but when they do it, they'll usually use the what is it? Maelstrom of Madness, which is like an AoE effect of him using his R2. And it'll like insta kill because it's hitting the body and the soul. So it's like pretty much doing like double damage. His other ability is Cloak of Levitation. Obviously, you just go in the sky and levitate for a little bit. You'll start Madness, build up Darkness Energy, which is from your R2, or basically any type of damage you're doing, you'll build up Darkness. I'm assuming. Let me double check. Yeah, every hit on an enemy. If you build up too much darkness, there's visual indicators on the cape and also on your screen. If you build up too much of it and it sits for too long, you'll be debuffed to an anti-heal. So basically, you won't be able to heal. He also has a portal, which is really strong, really strong, really strong, really strong, especially in capture point game modes or really like convoy game modes in general. He also has a shield, a shield, like Cap, except Cap's was like 400. His is like sitting at it 800, and it's also wider. Like it's actually like huge compared to Cap's. Mm, hmm. He's most definitely. It's like the only thing. Honestly, I don't know like a character that can really get him because if you got like a really good backline, Doctor Strange is honestly like a really hard character to get rid of because he's always shielding, he's doing damage, and then most of the time he'll probably have his ult, and he can most definitely clear the enemy team with that ult easily. But if I had to pick, most definitely A tier. He's not S. Really? He could be S. I'm not gonna lie to you. He could be S without that anti debuff. Just like I feel like he could be really strong without that. I don't even know why he's there. Because in his team up ability, I think it removes it, right? Hulk charges Doctor Strange with blah blah blah. Using Maelstrom right, he unleashes extra skill. When Doctor Strange uses Maelstrom of Madness, he unleashes extra. I don't know. I heard something about his team up ability where it doesn't use it. But I don't know. But we're just like just looking at base kits in general. Right. Yeah, he's most definitely A. I don't know why he has that anti debuff. I think he's the only character that has like a negative downside to him, which is kind of like, I don't know. I think they're just sticking with comic wise, or however you want to feel it. Next character is Groot. Groot. I am Groot. He has a ranged attack, which is well, not necessarily like, I mean, it's ranged. Uh, Vine Strike. Uh, pretty strong. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. His ultimate immobilizes, which is called Strangling Prison. It just you pull enemies and you just center them and you just imprison them pretty much. And they do take a little bit of damage. He also can like build walls. These walls, um, these walls that are placed can also attack. It's called Thornlash walls. From what the video, I mean, I've tried to do it in game, but I might have like not have seen it. But every time you attack, like when you place the wall and then you attack them, the wall itself will also inflict damage to an enemy as long as they're near it, the wall. They have to be near the wall. You can't obviously be across the map. Um, and then he has another wall called Ironwood Wall, which basically is just a wall when if you attack near it, it grants you and nearby allies bonus health, strong ability, strong ability. And then obviously R3 is his, melee. He has a spore bomb which you just throw a spore pretty much, and it just blows up into little smaller ones. His passive ability is called Floricolysis. Wooden walls near Groot will awaken, activating an extra effect. Press R2 while building a wooden wall to continue building wall. So basically, it's just like e- everything will flow into everything. Groot must definitely. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if I want to put him in A tier. Groot in general is just like a really strong character. Just baseline, he's really strong. really strong Vanguard baseline, in my opinion. And then his team up ability just makes it even he makes him even more crazy because he just basically has literally a pocket healer. Like how every tank wants a pocket healer, this guy's team up ability is pocket healing. Pretty much. Literally. Just pocket healer. You're getting fed HP. You're just insane. Next one, low. I mean, we all know where he's going. Let's be for real. We know where this guy's going. Hawkeye. Hawkeye has two basic attacks. One is piercing arrow. Other one is blast arrow. Blast arrow is basically an explosive shot that loads 3 arrows into the bow. They do not travel as far, but it is 3 arrows that are explosive. His ultimate is Hunter Sight. Basically, it pretty much it makes aiming a whole lot more easier because when you activate it, it shows after images of enemies. So basically, you don't have to hit them. You can just hit their after images, and the damage will be inflicted them accordingly to where you shot it. So if it was a headshot on the after image, it will be a headshot damage dealt to them, which obviously will result in death in most cases. Croissant Slash is his one of his melee attacks. It basically just hits enemies. It says up, but it just really, from the way they're showing it, it's just knocking them back. His other ability is Hypersonic Arrow. Shoot a hypersonic arrow, dealing 2 instances of damage to enemies in the path of flame with slow. This ability can knock down flying heroes, aka Iron Man, obviously some Storm, stuff like characters like that. They weren't really safe from this character anyways, but to even make it worse, if they could not get the kill, other players on the ground could get the kill since you are going to be slowed and knocked to the ground. He also has Running Slash, which is just basically like, uh, R1, not R1, I'm goofy. Just a basic attack, and also deflects incoming projectiles. He also has double jump too. And then not only that, his passive, if you are aiming at someone when you fully draw, uh, it will enhance the damage of the bow. Oof. I'm not gonna lie, this character is just insane in general, especially for like backline character. And not only that, he can like if you just have people push up on you, you can buy enough time for you to get out, which is the insane thing. Or if they like that's even if they like even get up to you. Because that like, I don't know. The bow and arrow is actually insane. You don't understand how much damage it's doing. If you get close range to him, it would probably be easier for him to proc the improved focus. And if he gets the shot off, depending if you're like a DPS character with like Spider-Man in them, it'll probably leave you at 1 HP. And then depending on how close you are, he'll probably follow up with a slash to finish the job. I don't know. I'm just, thinking he's just really strong for what he's doing as a DPS character. He's one-shotting a lot of characters at the back of the map. You know what I'm saying? He's giving out that support. It's not really like support, but you know what I'm saying? He's just like really strong character. He's just a really hard character to get rid of. Really hard character to get rid of. Ooh, next is Hella, Loki. Um, she is a 3-star. Whew, her R2, which is her basic, attack, not basic attack, but it's just her normal attack, is called Night Sword Thorn. Basically, you just throw swords. Basically, the swords are hit scan. Most DPS characters will probably die at 2-tap because the headshot does like actually a lot of damage. Not Hawkeye damage, but for what she's doing, fire rate wise, she's shooting faster than him for the most part. Besides when he gets his ultimate, it's like she's just doing it consistently, which is really strong. Her ultimate is called Goddess of Death. You just basically go out to the top of the map and you just throw down crows. And they do a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage. It's really strong to get people off point. A really good ability. Her next ability I'm not really too fond of. It's called Astral Flock. You just basically turn into a crow to go away. Like, just basically to move. I'll talk about that later on why I'm not really too fond of it. The next one is called Soul Drainer. You just basically throw like this energy spear to stun. It's basically like a stun attack. Our next one is called Pierce Knight, where you just throw multiple swords that detonate after a short delay. And then her passive is called Nashround Crow Storm. Defeating an enemy will generate a Nashround Crow exploding after a duration. And then obviously her next, well not obviously, but her next passive is called Hell's Descent, where you just basically fall slowly. Now, I would put this character on S tier, but I did find out this character. I mean, she is obviously a ranged character, but her, I want to call it her mobility, uh, skill. To me, honestly, sucks. Uh, I would have figured you'd try to like, not try to, but I would figure you could steer it, if you know what I mean, like control the flight path, and let alone it only like goes in just one linear distance, which kind of sucks. Because if you get ran up on and you use it, you're pretty much in within range for almost all their abilities besides their like Arthur, besides their like their basic attack. Whew. I'm not saying like she's awful or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that's the only thing. Her knives are most definitely hit scan, but to me, she's in like a cool little A spot somewhere. You know what I'm saying? She's not. She's strong. She's really strong, but I don't feel like she's broken because you can definitely catch her really quickly. Next one is Iron Fist. So he does have two. His first one is Jeet Kune Do. Obviously, it's his basic attack, which is reducing the cooldown of Dragon's defense with every hit. And then his next one is basically his alternate is I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but Yate Ji Chung Q. I'm sorry. Basically, you just dash forward and pursue. You just basically just you dash forward and unleash a bunch of flurry attacks, pretty much, right? His ultimate is called Living Chi. Basically, he gets boosted speed, damage, and attack range, delivering strong punches while reducing the cooldown of Dragon's defense. He has another attack called the Kun Lun Kick, where you just basically just go dash forward and just kick them. And then the damage also increases if the enemy has lower HP, so really strong, obviously, to deal damage. That's probably going to be like what, a finisher type of deal. Try to finish up with it, and then he has this ability called Harmony Recovery. So basically, it's just health regen. Really strong on a character, especially like this, to recover HP at will. Honestly, really good ability. His X not gives his X gives him actually triple jump, so he can just do triple jump, which is insane because Hawkeye has double jump. But we're not going to talk about that. So then, obviously the other abilities leading up to this is Dragon's Defense. You assume a defensive stance with a boosted chi to block incoming attacks and gain damage reduction. Once he exits the defensive stance, He gains bonus health and can strike back with a Yak Chi Chung Kun. So obviously, you'd have to switch over to the Yet Jin Jung Kun when you obviously before you would even like activate it. I would like make sure you have the Jetsin so you can follow up immediately because obviously you're just launching up. He has wall run. You can wall run from the side, and then his second passive is called Chi Absorption. Assists in taking down enemies will allow him to absorb the Chi and gain bonus health. So basically, you know what I'm saying? He's just a full on berserker melee. Where do I want to put this dude? Hmm. I don't want to put him in S tier because there is a lot of counterplay to him, and I don't want to say flying characters because I've seen some videos of this guy just straight chasing Iron Man through the sky, which is actually insane to really think about it. But you know, Iron Man's also like kind of like a fragile character. Mm, he just there's nothing wrong with this character. I mean, he's really solely like melee, so he has no type of range whatsoever. So you can most definitely catch him lacking at range, most definitely. But it's like this doesn't really stick out as like broken. He seems like a, I mean, he might be a little broken, but he's not like their level type of insane to me. But I'll leave him at A. Next, we got Iron Man. Iron Man is a 2-star. He has two normal attacks. One is Repulsor Blast, which is just basically splash damage. Next is a unit beam where he can just press the whatever you have binded, he'll just shoot a beam that has like basically 100. It just goes up to like just 100. I want to say bullets, but it's not bullets. Ammunition, basically. It'll tell you. Really strong. Tearing down tanks when they're not paying attention to you, or basically any type of character. Then he has the invincible pulse cannon as his ultimate. Fire a pulse cannon, which you know what I'm saying. If not the strongest ult in the game, it's most definitely up there as one of the strongest. His other ability is called hyper velocity, which is basically mobility. You just go into full flight mode. His other ability is called armor overdrive, basically enhancing the damage of repulsor blast and unit beam, making them stronger. And then you get a stronger AoE effect and more damage. Then missile barrage basically is missile barrage. Technically, there's two functions. There's one tied to armor overdrive, which you can use missile barrage just from attacking, but base wise, you have to use it while you're in like flight mode. Mm, the character. I mean, there's not really like nothing wrong with it. It's just like this character is solely ranged, right? But he doesn't have like the defense utilities besides to run away. And characters like Hawkeye would like tear him apart. Like Widow, she would tear him apart. I'm not gonna lie. She would tear him apart. Um well then that just like begs to differ. Like should I just move him to B tier then? Because I don't he's not a C tier character. He's like I'm not too sure about her yet. But if he was, he's most definitely better than her. Most definitely. In terms of what he can do, he's causing AoE splash damage. His ult pretty much one shots anything. He's definitely like a glass cannon. If you know what I'm saying, he's like a glass cannon. A very effective glass cannon. Um, hmm, hmm. Oh, yeah, okay, I know what I do. I think I know what I do. I'll move you down to C, right? And I'll explain later. I'll explain my whole thought process on this later. Later. All right, let's move on to the next character though. Next character is Jeff the Sharko. We got Jeff the Shark. Oh man. Oh man. So he has two. He has Joyful Splash, which is basically healing fast. It's like a beam of healing, pretty much. Aqua Burst is his other uh it's his other bind, which basically is his attack bind. It's like an AoE type of deal. Jeff, obviously, everyone knows the ultimate. You can pretty much swallow anyone. Most of the time, people will swallow the entire team and just fall off the map, guaranteeing a squad wipe. Which you know what I'm saying. I don't know who came up with the kamikaze strat like that, but hey, if it works, I'm not gonna knock it from you. His other ability called hide and seek, where you can just basically hide in water, and then your dorsal fin is going to be the only thing exposed, but you're also getting a movement boost, and you can also climb walls. And then he's also healing himself while submerged to it. Healing bubble, he shoots out healing bubbles, and it will just sit on the battlefield until an ally gets it or he can get it. Oblivious cuteness basically reduces damage taken from critical hits. So he takes less damage from critical hits. It's insane. Not going. I want to put him on S tier, low key, but mm, I'm just gonna put him in A because he doesn't seem like on the level of what these guys are doing. He's on the level of what these guys are doing. Like they're strong. Hmm. Honestly, I'm thinking about moving Cap to. I don't know. Cap, I'm iffy. Loki. Loki is a support class. He's a 4-star support class. His R2 bind is Mystical Missile, which heals allies and also deals damage to enemies. Two functions into one, similar to Cloak and Dagger. Well, Cloak's primary. His ultimate is probably like, in my opinion, it might be the best in the game. Duly so just solely from the fact that you can shapeshift to anyone you choose, or like anyone who is any hero who is on the battlefield that is within sight, you can shapeshift into it. Not only that, you can also confuse the enemy because it will also change your name to that um person you swap bodies with until you sorry guys, until you attack, if you know what I'm saying. So like if you swap body, not swap bodies, if you shapeshift into a enemy team, it'll show the enemy's username until you attack somebody, which can be you can throw them off doing that, but you'll automatically have their ultimate, but you will not be able to use team abilities. But you know what I'm saying? The reason that like this is insane because you can pick the ultimate you want to use. So whatever the situation is, you can literally pick the right ultimate for the situation and can easily turn the tides in battle easily. His L1, well, my L1 technically. His other ability is called Regeneration Domain. Um, you basically use a rune stone to create a magic field that provides healing over time and converts incoming damage into further healing. So basically, you are literally immortal for a few seconds. There is a downside to it. You can shoot the stones, and it will cancel out the healing effect early. Keep in mind. He also has an ability called Doppelganger. He can make two clones of himself, pretty much, and they can all use They can use the regeneration domain. I mean, they can't use it on their own. It's basically when you use it, and when you use it, it will activate for them. So basically, you have a wider range of healing. You can. There's this. He has another ability called Devious Exchange, where you just swap places with selected illusion. His R3 is called Backstab, where basically you get bonus damage from stabbing someone in the back. Deception is L2, so you just become invisible and conjure an illusion to deceive enemies. But this is kind of finicky because if they're on you and you press the ability, it can knock you out of the invis since you are within melee range. So just you know what I'm saying. Keep that in mind when trying to go invis. Um, Honestly, I want to put him in B because he seems like a B character to me. I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm not saying he's terrible whatsoever, but he's not on Widow tier. And Iron Man's good. He's good too, but he's just like really fragile. And I don't know. It's kind of hard to make this list. Mm, they're good, but they're not as good as these guys and their selected roles. If you know, because he's a support class, right? So I guess I'll compare him to the other support classes to keep it fair. He can multi-heal, but so can he, right? He, well, but he has to aim with his healing. This is like this jumps between allies. Honestly, I'm gonna put him in A. A seems like a solid spot. I'll come back to Iron Man. I'm iffy on you right now. We're gonna be looking at Luna Snow now. Luna is a 2-star support. Obviously, summon ability to cloak and dagger. Well, cloak. Wait, no, is it dagger? I can't remember. But she heals and does damage. Fate of both world, pretty strong ult. Uh, her ult has two functions. Can either be damage or a healing. It's really up to you to decide what you want to do with it. It's really strong, pretty much immortal if you choose the healing. Uh, Fire Ice Shards, which is her Ice Shards ability. Fire Ice Shards damaging enemies or allies while restoring her own health. So basically, you're just healing yourself as you do the ability. Share the stage, attack the. You basically attach a idle aura to an ally, and uh, while they restore health, she what's it called? While she's restoring health for someone else, they will also be restoring whoever she attaches that ability to. So basically, she can heal more than one ally at a time, which is honestly really good in situations like this. Absolute Zero casts a clump of ice to freeze the hit enemy and restore HP, which is really strong. Probably, it is actually really strong in like close case scenarios. If you're getting attacked, you can stun them and probably get out of the area, or buy enough time for another ally to come and assist you in the situation. She has a passive ability, Smith Escape, basically gives you basically a speed boost, pretty much, literally a speed boost. She has another ability called Spiral Heart, automatically restore health when casting Ice Arts or Absolute Zero. So basically, you're just always reaching. Is pretty much the whole situation. Mm, I don't know where to put her. I'm not gonna lie. I want to put her in S, but I also wouldn't be mad if I put her in A because she's doing a lot. Her ult. There's a few heroes I know that can kill her with the ult active. I know Iron Man can, but that's if that happens. And even then, you can still move with it because it is a mobile ult. Hmm. I think S tier fits her for now. Most definitely. Oh, Magic is our next character. Oh man. So her basic attack is Soul Storage. Basically, you just swing a sword, right? Whew, her ultimate is Dark Child, which it just basically it gives you a lot more damage and just enhances the rest of the abilities. Her other ability, Stepping Disc, basically you're just teleporting a short distance. Her other ability is Umbral Incursion, dash forward and launch up enemies to make them airborne. And then obviously you can follow with like an R2 attack or something like that. Really your choice. Uh, then it's Eldritch Whirl, which is a prompt that only like pops up after exiting a stepping disc. You know what I'm saying? Then she has another bind for another attack which is called Magic Slash, strike forward and slash. It's like basically a projectile. Um, then she has another bind for this, another function for the same bind, which is called Demon's Rage. Summon a limbo demon that attacks enemies after exiting a stepping disc. So you can either do like a little swirl or a spawn a limbo demon. Her passive is convert damage inflicted on enemies and a bonus out to self. So obviously this is a heavily aggressive type character because you're gonna be getting overshield for fighting literally. Mm, I already know where I'm putting her. I heard she was insane. Unfortunately, I did not get to play the beta, but it kind of got stuck right there. I heard she was insane in the beta, and they toned her down a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but she's most definitely good. She's not insane like these. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, she can be like really annoying to fight against, but she's not at like to their level. She's good, most definitely, but I don't. I feel like she's in a good spot, most definitely. She's just strong. Mr. Magneto. He is also a Vanguard 2-star. His normal attack is called Iron Volley. Fire a volley of magnetic orbs forward. The range of the resulting explosion increases based on distance flown. It does only go to a certain distance and then it'll just explode by itself, obviously. It doesn't go too far. I think it's like, what, 10 or 15 meters? His other bind is called, his ultimate is called Meteor M, drawing all materials around to forge an iron meteor that deals massive damage upon impact, absorbing many enemy projectiles. Can enhance the meteor's power, yet overloading will cause it to self-destruct. Mm. So basically, it's like a timing ult, pretty much. Uh, I usually not like, I don't know. It's a cool little ult though. His other bind is called Metallic Curtain. Change the magnetic field around him to form a metallic curtain blocking all incoming projectiles. Which, this ability probably lasts for like what? I'm looking at it again. Like 3 seconds, maybe. But you take no damage from it whatsoever, and it does block ults. Like Iron Man in them, like ranged ones for sure, as long as the shield's facing forward. He has another ability called Metal Bulwark, which is basically a shield. You can either put it on yourself or you can put it onto an ally, but it does have like, in my opinion, has like a really long cooldown for like a very short lifespan, if it makes sense. Then his other ability is called Mag Cannon. Convert the iron rings on Minio's back into a mag cannon and launch a metallic mass forward. Higher stacks of rings increase damage, and full stacks knock back enemies. So you can get rings from Metal Bulwark and I believe metallic. Oh no! It's from the bubble. Yeah, it's just from the bubble. Or am I tripping? Hold up. Yeah, it's from the bubble, but in the it doesn't list anywhere in the kit, or it doesn't tell you, but I can tell you for a fact that the rings on its back actually regenerate on their own. For it does take it doesn't take too long, probably like 10 seconds to get all three charges up, but it is faster just to use the little bubble shields for sure, but it does actually recharge on its own. I don't know if it's a glitch or anything. I'll have to double back on that, but if I recall, it does happen on its own. Like just like as a passive. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Magneto, I'm not gonna put him in A. He feels like a B to me. He's good, don't get me wrong, he's really good. But the thing is like I feel like he's so much more insane with the Scarlet Witch team up. Like if he just had that straight, you know what I'm saying? Straight um Scarlet Witch ability just built into him without having it being restricted to his team up, he would most definitely be in it. Cause that Scarlet Witch ability, cause if you don't know, it's called Metallic Fusion. And it's basically like a range. It's like a range attack. And it lasts for like quite a while. Maybe just 10 seconds of just like waving a sword and energy slashes going around. And these energy slashes do like a lot of damage. And they have some good distance on it too. And it can hit multiple enemies. It even passes through enemies too. Yeah, this thing does a lot of damage. It's really good, really good. I just feel like his bubble shield is way too short, and especially his cooldown times is just way too high for what it is. He's most definitely good. I just really they just I don't know. They need to fix his cooldown timings on his K. He's a good character. Mantis. Hmm. Honestly, just a strong character. I mean, I already know what she does. You guys probably know what she does. But for the sake of the tier list, we're gonna go over what she does. Her normal attack is called Life Energy Blast. Fire an energy thorn and regain one life orb after a critical hit. Her ultimate is called Soul Resurgence. Release energy around her while moving, providing health over time and movement boost for surrounding allies. Access healing converts to bonus health. Her R1 ability, which is actually kind of crazy, is called Spore Slumber. Throw a spore to sedate the nearest enemy. Her other bind is called Allied Inspiration. Consume one life orb to grant allies damage boost. Natural Anger. Consume life orbs to grant herself damage boost. Healing Flower. Consume life orbs to grant allies healing over time. Nature's Favor. Receive a movement boost when not injured and healing over time when consuming life orbs. And you do get and you're probably wondering how to get life orbs. You do get life orbs after you perform a critical hit, but they also do regain over time on their own. And just from that point alone, as I've seen it multiple times, usually someone tries to attack them, depending if they're on the ground for too long, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Get a quick sedate, boost your own damage, aim for a headshot, and most of the time, whatever the DPS character that's attacking you will probably be dead. Just from her by herself. She's really doing a lot. She's a strong support. Really good character, really good character. I noticed a lot of characters are like supports, because supports are like really strong. Next one, oh man, we got a lot of characters to go through. Next one is Moon Knight. 3-star DPS character. This character is heavily ranged. Heavily ranged, heavily ranged, heavily ranged. He's like a ranged AoE type of deal, if you know what I'm saying. Like he can focus on one character, but I feel like his whole gist is just like to punish people that are like pushing together. And it works out really well because he does like a lot of damage because his R2 bounces off of enemies and also bounces off another ability that he has in his kit. He has Hand of Khonshu, which is like an AoE ultimate. Night Glider, if you're in the air, you can glide. And Ancient Ankh, basically you throw it on the ground. I believe it knocks them upwards and you can throw attacks at the Ankh and it'll hit enemies that are within radius of it. So pretty much, making life easier for the ones who can't aim. Even if you don't want to aim, that's still like something you can do. He has a hook, which honestly the hook kind of moves kind of slow. You can get caught up pretty bad. He has obviously R3 for batons. He has a jump, which is like I don't think it's like a triple jump. Oh, it is a double jump. Okay, it's a double jump. So basically jump and you know what I'm saying, you just jump high in the air. Moonblade is pretty much like a stronger version of his basic attack. Just hits a little harder, but it's just one. And it can bounce through unks. Now, honestly, without a doubt, I feel like no, you're not S tier. He's most definitely A tier. He's not S tier because he doesn't have nothing to really defend himself up close. You can say it's R3, but most of the time people are probably going to use their abilities and it'll probably kill you. Especially with my main, Venom. Slow can really hurt this character a lot. A lot. Um, because his grappler is just slow, and then the glider itself is also slow. But for the most part, for what he's doing, grouping DPS, he does it. He gets the job done. If you don't focus on this character, he'll probably be tearing your team through, and you'll probably have no HP. Namor is our next character. Honestly, a heavily slept on character. You probably see those memes talking about some these random Namor mains with 43 kills. Yeah, nah, they're not bad. But looking at it, he is a 2-star difficulty DPS character. His R2, I keep saying R2. His normal attack is Trident of Neptune. Throw a trident forward, reducing aquatic dominion's cooldown upon enemy impact. Critical hits cause Maestro spawn to enter a berserk state, gaining increased attack speed. His ultimate is called Horn of Proteus. I'm sorry if I butchered it. Summon uh, Giganto to leap atop enemies within range, disabling their mobility ability. Their mobility abilities. Tongue twister. It's pretty good. It is actually a really solid ultimate. Really solid ultimate. Blessing of the Deep. Summon a protective barrier while flying forward. Strong, strong, strong. Aquatic Dominion. Summon a monster spawn that can autonomously attack enemies. Descend, he can fall slow. Wrath of the Seven Seas wants to try it forward to damage nearby enemies, then disdirect all Maestron Deformer and enhance attack on the nearest hit enemy. When the trident hits an enemy, monster spawn enter a berserk state, gaining increased attack speed. Oh man. So, hmm, I'm pretty sure everyone thought like No More probably wouldn't have been good, but he's actually like a really good, strong character. He can also defend himself quite well, even with like Blessing of the Deep, because I don't think it has like that long of a cooldown. Also, the Maestro spawns, they're actually really good character, like really good. Like they're actually insane. You're not S tier though, but come back down. It's just a computer, guys. Trust, 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 trust. Next is Penny Parker. She is a 4-star Vanguard. Her R2 is Cyber Web Cluster, which is infinite ammo. So you just, hold it down and she'll just keep shooting. Her ultimate is called Spider Sweeper. Pretty much you just roaming around, knocking enemies back and placing a whole bunch of arachno mines, spider drones, and cyber webs. And yes, it does do a bunch of damage. Bunch of damage. Her other ability is called Bionic Spider Nest, which is honestly a really strong ability. You place like a machine down and it'll generate a spider web, and also will periodically spawn spider drones. And if you enter the drones not enter the spider drone. If you touch anywhere on the web, drones that were already spawned will head directly to that point and proceed to explode on contact. While she's also on the spider nest, she'll heal over time and get a movement boost. And then excess health will also will be put into bonus health. Really strong, really strong. Ragnar mine, she can deploy mines, and they can also be concealed within a cyber web. So usually you don't want to step on any type of web that she has on the map. She can also shoot a web, and she can stick to it, forcing herself to stay in that area. If she leaves it, not leaves it, but if she goes too far, it will pull her back or pull her forward if she shoots it at something, directly. She can wall crawl, but it can only like crawl vertically, and she can't do what Spider-Man and them be doing. Now she does have this one good ability. Well, I mean, she had her whole kit's good, but she has Cyber Web Star, which is basically like a stun. I want to call it like a stun. Um, but I guess it immobilizes enemies. But it does it's pretty much like a free ult cancellation because it's not it's like it has a pretty fast cooldown too, like a 4 second cooldown. Like any time you hear ultimate going off, you can shoot the web and it'll cancel it out. So yeah, she's really strong. Most definitely really strong. Just from that alone, the fact that you can just cancel out ult just from webbing them. Yeah, that's honestly insane. Insane ability to have, makes it very viable. And she is most definitely an A tier. Would she be an S tier? I don't know. S tier. I mean, she's a good character for sure, but it's like she's not one of those characters that I think about is like, whoa, she's just insane. She's like just above the rest, right? Like it's just like broken, just broken. So yeah, she'll go on A tier. Mm-mm. Next one is honestly the Sweat fan favorite, Psylocke. So her R2 is Psionic Crossbow. Unleash bolts with Psionic Crossbows to damage enemies, and it does reduce the cooldown of all her abilities. So obviously that's pretty nice. Um, Her ultimate, Dance of the Butterfly, slash nearby enemies with a Psionic Katana, dealing massive damage. And yes, this ultimate does have like a very wide range, like a big circle. So she has a big area to work with. And it is mobile too. Her other ability is called Side Blade Dash. Dash forward and slice through enemies along a path with psionic blades. Her next ability is called Psionic Stealth. Enter stealth mode and gain a movement boost. Wing Shurikens. Launch a volley of psionic shurikens that stick to enemies, dealing damage and granting herself bonus health. Press again to recall. Hmm. Um, we're looking at this at really good players in general. What I'm having a hard time is deciding if she's A or S tier. Because she's most definitely insane. Like she's really good. Cause she can apply heavy pressure, especially in a 1v1. She's quick too. I'm just trying to find like what would make her S tier. Cause what is she doing? She's DPS. She has range. She can move. Honestly, I want to put her in S. Her ult covers like pretty much everywhere. Like she's like just seems like a I don't want to say broken. It's just like they're just a cut above the rest. Hmm. Uh, Next, Punisher. Punisher is a one-star DPS character. He has a auto rifle, strong auto rifle though. His other alternate is a shotgun, which is very like that shotgun actually like They be putting the work on. They be putting the work on them tanks, man. And then his ultimate, Final Judgment, insanely strong ult. He has good mobility, has a stationary turret, so he can hold ground. He can get out of a tight situation, and he has he kind of has wall hacks a little bit, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's only a little bit, and it only lasts for so long. Oh man, would you put Punisher S tier? Low key, you could, huh? Because he can defend himself actually quite well. He has a turret, smoke screen, a shotgun, and then he can just hit the cable. He can move across the map insanely fast, especially with well placed. Yeah, he's good. Rocket. My bad. I'm trying to get to the. Okay, there you go. Rocket is a 1-star support. His gun has a 2 firing mode. One is bombard mode where you just fire, you just treat it like a minigun and he just deals damage. Other alternate fighter mode is just healing mode. His ultimate is basically the damage booster, which is obviously not bad as a support class. Usually what they're doing. His other ability is jetpack dash, which is mobility, gets him out of tough situations. Uh, he has another ability which is basically resurrection for once it's up, it comes back in with like 40 seconds. Honestly, really good. It actually spawns with full HP, and I think it reduces. I think it refreshes all your abilities too. It might not. I might be over exaggerating it, but I do know for a fact he does respawn with 100% HP. And then he can crawl on the wall insanely fast because he's not only just crawling, he's using his jetpack to crawl, and it is in and he can move freely in all directions. He can also hover back. He can also hover, not hover, but he falls down slowly when he's in the air. He can fall down slowly, so you can obviously like descend quite. Mm. He's A. His healing's not as potent as these two, unless he would be an S tier, because he just seems like honestly like a really good character. Supporting, he can resurrect really easily. It's just like I feel like the healing is not as strong as these two, if that makes any sense. But he's most definitely a good character. Very good character, very good character. Wanda. Oh man. Normal attack is called Chaos Control. Unleash chaos magic on enemies to deal damage based on percentage of their magic. Oh, so it's percentage? Oh man. One of the strongest ults in the game, Reality Erasure. Engage in free flight while charging energy, then unleash it to do massive damage. Mystic Projection. Enter the phase state for free flight. Press R1 to exit early. See, this is what I was talking about. For Mystic Projection, I really wish Hella's crow thing was like this, where it was free flight, because it doesn't make sense on why is it just like a linear, and not even just linear, it's just a short distance. It feels like she's not going nowhere, and I think Wanda gets 2 charges of these too. Oh man, and then she has a stun where actually can repeatedly stun them the longer they stay in the field. Telekinesis, fully, oh my, slowly fall. Um, and then she has another ability where Consume chaos energy to fire explosive magic missiles, damaging enemies. Mm, I look you want to put her in A tier. Cause I feel like she's DPS, so I want to compare it to these two. These two are moving a lot. I think their damage output too is a lot quicker than what she's doing. Because you're most of the time you get killed by her, they're usually just following you, holding the beam out. These two can he can just destroy you with the shotgun. She can destroy you with her abilities easily. And then she's also getting cooldown, so she can spam her abilities. He can play long distance and close range. Pretty probably not long distance, but probably medium to close range really well. It's just mm. All right. Next one is Spider-Man, bro. Spider-Man. Oh man. I think he's our what? The first 5-star difficulty character on this tier list. Oh man. He has two normal attacks. One is Spider Power, swing fist to strike forward, dealing extra damage to the enemy with a Spider Tracer. Then he has Web Cluster, shoot a Web Cluster that deals damage and attaches the Spider Tracer to the hit enemy. Next is Spectacular Spin, launch Web Clusters all around and stun enemies. Web Swing, he swings around the map. Get over here, he can shoot a web to reel the hit enemy to him. If the enemy is tagged, you will pull to them. Basically an uppercut, dealing extra damage to the people with spider chasers. The whip and flip, perform a double jump. Spider sense, giving warning of enemies that have been around. So basically, spider sense. He has wall crawl. And man. I really want to put this character in S tier. Because he's good. He's really, I mean, if you got a hang of him, but most of the time it's like the same gameplay with him. So, I don't know. It just depends. But there, you can most definitely catch Spider-Man lacking. Well, actually not. Because he gets his abilities back really quick. I don't know. It's maybe because this is my personal interaction. But these characters have always been far more of an issue than this one. He's good. He's good. He doesn't. I'm not saying he needs buffs or anything because he doesn't. I feel like he's in a perfect spot. Like these guys, they're in good spots. Really good spots. Maybe some of y'all. I don't know. We'll go through it. We'll go through. Next is Squirrel Girl. So her normal attack is burst acorn, bouncing ball, bouncing acorns, and beatable salami, summoning a horde of squirrels to charge forward, dealing damage while bouncing against structures. Tail bounce, basically you just bounce up into the sky. Really, reload burst acorns and can use an ability without cooldown. I'm not gonna lie, it's just I feel like she's S. She does a lot of damage for what she's doing. It She can stun enemies. She's kind of hard to catch at points at times. She's pretty good. Pretty good character. Pretty good. Star Lord. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. Star Lord is probably S without question. He has a dual element gun, 30 and oh no, 40 in the mag for each. He has a pretty decent reload speed. Galactic Legend, aim assist, literally just aimbot, ultimate, literally. Rocket propulsion, mobility, good mobility at that. Has a good recharge rate. Blaster Barrage, AoE damage, can pretty much one shot typical DPS characters. Stellar Shift thing, it dodges. You can dodge, and not only does it dodge, it reloads. And the thing with that is the thing with that is I've seen clips of Stellar Shift. If you time it right, it has an invincibility frame to the point where you can take dodge everything in the game, and that is why I put him in S tier. He already has a good baseline kit. It's just the fact that on top of that, his dodge just is just like just pure immunity to damage. It's just insane. He's such an agile character. Ultimate is busted. You know what I'm saying? Storm. 3-star DPS. R2 is Windblade. Launch Windblades forward. I'll make a Hurricane. It's actually really strong. You just pretty much disappear and you just spawn, wherever you choose to mark. And it does a lot of damage. A lot. Her other ability is called Weather Control. Switch the weather to empower allies. Tornado grants a movement boost. Thunder grants a damage boost. Obviously, for DPS, she's supporting too. She's doing a support role. Goddess boost. Channel the power of weather to empower storm. Tornado grants a move boost and inflicts slow on enemies. Thunder grants a damage boost and summons lightning to inflict enemies. Bolt rush. Unleash a lightning bolt forward. Okay, and that's pretty much of what she does. Uh, she, I mean, she seems like a good character for sure. Thing is, it's just like she doesn't have nothing to like. Widow, Hawkeye, who else? Hella, maybe Star Lord. That's questionable. Namor can be put into equation. Could really tear her up. Probably good counters to her. The thing is like she's like just in the sky, if you know. And I get that you're supposed to be in the sky, but she doesn't seem like you. I feel like you'd have to be taking cover like in buildings, stuff like that, to give cover to yourself. Next we got Thor. Thor is a 3-star Vanguard. Uh, R2 obviously he strikes with the hammer. It gets buffed if you awaken him. He has an ult God of Thunder, which honestly I think kind of slow for what it is. It can be easily avoided. Uh, Storm Surge, basically you just launch yourself forward, propelling yourself. Lightning Realm, summoning lightning to restore Thor Force based on the number of hits. Awakening Room, consume Thor Force to enter awakened state. And then you can throw your hammer, and then the passive is Thor Force, which is, consume Thor Force to gain bonus health, which is basically the hammers on the screen. Any bind that requires hammers will consume it. Most definitely a good character. I think he's A tier. Solid pick. Solid pick. Oh man, my goat, my favorite character, Venom. Oh man, oof. All right, let's try not to be biased. So let's see. Similar to Groot's attack, it does. He has basic travels actually really far. Ultimate Feast of the Abyss. If I recall, burrow underground for free movement after duration, or by pressing R2 to devour enemies above to deal damage based on the enemy's current health and generate equivalent bow health. So really good for a tank. Ups his survival time. He also has actually really insane mobility for Venom Swing. He also gets bonus health, symbiotic resilience. Frenzied Arrival is just basically like an add-on. It's just another attack because you're going to be in the air. Cellular Collision, Collision. Unleash tentacles to slow enemies within reach. Enemies unable to break free in time will suffer damage, which I think is like 200 damage if it goes off. He does have wall crawl too. Hmm. I want to put Venom in A. He doesn't seem overwhelmingly broken. He just has like high survivability. He does also do really good damage, but it's like mostly like I don't know. Is there anything wrong with Venom? No, because most of the time you usually his biggest weakness is stuns, and that's like the whole Penny Parker thing. Stuns, you know what I'm saying? Mantis stuns. Uh, who else be stunning? Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Mm, those type of characters can really like messing up. And these like Hulk Mantis is like kind of common one. So when you dive, you could probably expect Mantis to stun you, and it'll probably stop you. Or Bucky to like pull you back. Because you gotta wait for your web sting to go back if you go for a dive bomb. But he's not like insanely broken like these guys. He seems like actually a well balanced tank. Is a tank's role front line. Make sure you just doing your thing. And he's doing it. Bucky. Oh man. Oh man. His basic attack is a gun. Fire explosive rounds with its blaster, row stern, damaging the target. And basically it pierces enemies. Pierces them. His ultimate is cracking impact. Basically you slam down, marking enemies. If you deal damage to them to a certain threshold, they'll automatically die, which will refund your ultimate, and therefore you can put it in a loophole. Insane, to be honest, really insane. Trooper Fist, dash forward, seizing enemies along the path and launching them up, and it also okay, we'll talk about that later. But you just launch forward and it hits you. Tainted voltage, charge up and launch a powerful electrical punch with bionic arm in the target direction, dealing damage to enemies within range and slowing them. This ability can also be used to knock down flying heroes, so obviously make short work of flying heroes, aka Iron Man. Bionic hook, charge up and launch a hook with his bionic arm, reeling in the first target hit, and enemies lurking behind. So yeah, he can pull characters to you. It's insane. So his passive, basically, every time his bionic arm is in use, it will actually reload his gun and grant him bonus health. So pretty much all his pretty much all his moves require his bionic arm. So he's always gonna be getting bonus health, and his gun's gonna technically should always be loaded. So, oh man, should I like? I don't even know where to put this guy. Cause I want to put him in A, not A, but S, because of his ult. And then he's always that gun is actually insanely strong. He just doesn't have no crazy movement. But it's not like the movement is like really like the whole thing for his role. Like if I had to compare him to her, she's always on the move. He has stuff to always be on the move. He's always on the move. He has options to get out of there. It's like you're just pretty much like what? Not backlining, but like you're in like the middle of it. But he's also like really strong too, so it's like you could use his other one of his bionic arm abilities to like move out and shift out of position. For the sake of the ult, which is insane, we'll leave you an S tier low key. And then last but not least, Wolverine. Wolverine ability Savage Claw. Slash with Adamantium Claws for a Claw Strike. Unleashing Fairly will enhance it to Berserk Claw for a brief moment. Last damage is ult. Launch of enemies ahead and spiral through the air, sweeping up enemies on path and delivering a devastating impact at the falling At the following landing point, impact deals extra damage based on rage accumulated. Next is mixed ability is Feral Leap, which is basically gonna take out basically flying guys. Any flying characters leap like an animal to snatch the first enemy upon impact, smash them at the ground, releasing this ability will enhance his normal attack to Berserk Claw Strike for a brief period. Undying Animal gives him damage reduction. Vicious Rampage, dash forward and unleash Claw Strike, regenerative healing factor. Begin to heal and rise with a hefty bonus health, shaking off all debuffs after a brief moment. Any remaining bonus health morphs into a one off heal, zeroing out his rage. Assist in KOs reduces cooldown. So basically he has a second life. Berserker Rage. Rage builds when Wolverine attacks or takes hits, boosting the damage of his claw strikes and the bonus held from his regenerating healing factor. So, thing with Wolverine, he's like a tank killer. Because if I recall, his damage is based off of the enemy's health, total health. So obviously tanks are more health, so they'll be doing more damage. So he'll be shredding them faster. Um, he was a good character. Mm, he's kind of like a tough one to put. Is he with these guys? I don't know. I feel like he's here. He could use a buff. Well, actually, it's like, hmm. These guys, they're good. They're like way over the top. Not saying they're broken because obviously, rivals said, team said need to go double check that. But if I recall, they said they're not gonna be nerfing. They're gonna be buffing characters that they feel need a buff to fit the standard. So whatever they feel like the character standards are, they're probably just going off of statistics, off of the players, from what characters pick. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just going off my tier list. Um, hmm. I don't know what you would buff of him. The thing is, he's just flying, and that's his biggest weakness. So I don't think there's nothing you can really do for him. You know, that's just a counter. Him, Cap, you can go down here, cause this, for me, these guys good, don't really need to be touched. These guys, okay, so these guys hardly have counters, in my opinion. They just do what they want. These guys, they have counters. It's a good flow to the game, right? They're good. They can kill these guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can kill them. You can, like, just base wise, they just do a lot. These guys do good too. It's just like a lot easier to kill these guys, in my opinion, compared to these guys. Um, these I feel like could use a buff. These guys could use a buff. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Now these two, he's not that bad. It's just like, I mean, these two are not bad, and they're still like what they're doing. It's just like he's just required to get it in the face, but he can't necessarily take the damage to. And especially if you're getting attacked by someone else, that really just shreds through your HP. So I feel like he needs like more of a bigger buff than these two. Oops. These two feel like they need like a bigger buff than what they're getting. Like none of these characters feel bad where they're just like absolute trash, if that makes sense. Like where it's like you can't even play them at all. Cause you can. You're just gonna have to be a lot more cautious of what you're doing compared to characters like these characters. Like obviously in their selective role, because you know support class, you're not gonna be front lining. I mean, I hope you're not, but you know what I'm saying. Like he doesn't have mobility, but he's like an insane healer. He's not like the best healer, right? But he's also rezzing. He can heal, high mobility, can get out of situations by himself. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? There's just things there. But that's just my tier list though. Let me know what y'all think. Uh if you stuck through the end, or maybe you just came to the end to see what the tier list was at the final of my final decision. This is probably my final decision. Thank you guys for watching and have a good one.